Hi there, this is Mrs. Ortiz, and we're going to go over knowing how to pick the correct method when you are solving a quadratic. So just a quick review, remember that if you are solving a quadratic, you are looking for the roots, right? As long as we are finding real solutions. Okay, we'll talk about imaginary solutions later. So we're looking for those points that cross the x-axis, called the x-intercepts, also called the roots, the solutions, or the zeros. Okay, so just some strategies for knowing what the best choice is. When you are solving, one strategy that you can use is to graph. And so you can either put it in your calculator or an online graphing calculator like Desmos. And graphing is a really great tool. You can find roots in any of the forms. So just a quick reminder, there are three forms for quadratics. There's standard form, so ax squared plus bx plus c. There is intercept form or factored form, a times x minus p times x minus q. And there is vertex form. Okay, and so the forms look like this, where you have numbers plugged in for the variables except for x and f of x or y. Okay, now why don't we just use graphing all the time? Sometimes we don't have a calculator, and other times when we actually graph, we might not be able to see the roots clearly. So that could happen in any one of these forms. And so this little not symbol over here in red is going to be when not to use this strategy. So we should not use graphing when we cannot clearly find the value of the roots. Okay, so see the roots or the x-intercepts on the graph. Okay, so that's when not to use graphing. Otherwise, very helpful tool if it is available to you. For square rooting, you can use the square root method anytime you do not have a linear term. Okay, so I'm going to start with what you can't have. So in a square root, you cannot have a function with a linear term. So no linear term in the function. And the linear term would be a b times x term. So any term with an x. Okay, now you can use the square root, and it's good to use the square root when you have a times x squared, or you have a times x squared plus c, or you have a function in vertex form. And the reason that this works out well is that each one of these has a squared term or a squared expression that can be isolated. Okay, so we can isolate that x squared and take the square root. We can isolate this x squared and take the square root. And then we can isolate this x minus h and then take the square root in order to solve. Okay? So no linear terms allowed when you are solving by the square root. All right, the last two forms that we have are factoring and the quadratic formula. So factoring can only be used when your function is in standard form, so ax squared plus bx plus c. What's nice about factoring is once you get it down, it's quick, especially if a is equal to 1. You're going to use the diamond, and you're going to use the area model if a is not equal to 1 to factor. When a quadratic is prime, you are not going to be able to solve by factoring. And remember, when we say solving by factoring, we're talking about the zero product property. Okay, so if a quadratic is prime, meaning it cannot be factored, then you are not going to use factoring. However, a nice little tool when you do have a prime quadratic is to use the quadratic formula. So again, your function has to be in standard form because you have to be able to identify A, B, and C. The really nice part about it is that it works, right? It works for all standard form equations, okay? And it will solve for your rational, real roots, and even imaginary roots later on, okay? When it doesn't work is when it is not in standard form. Okay, so it doesn't work when the function is not in standard form. Okay, and then my other warning would be that we probably see more errors from the quadratic formula when you are simplifying order of operations than we do in any of the other methods. So just be cautious when you are doing that. Okay, I hope that was helpful, and have a good day. Bye.